You want to know how to be 1,200 times more effective with your conversations. You want to know how to be 1,200 times more effective at getting the outcome for which you want to engage in a conversation in the first place. Then there's a way that you can do that. There's a way that you can be 1,200 times more effective. But before I share that with you, I want to share with you what I call the anatomy of a terrible manager. If you want to be a terrible manager, which I know none of you want to be a terrible manager, but if the results you're getting is indicating that you're not doing a very good job at being a manager, then there's one thing that you can do. There's one thing that you can always do if you want to be a terrible manager, and that is ignore your people. Ignore your people. Don't engage in conversations, and I'm not talking about relational type conversations. I'm talking about the intentional conversations that we're unpacking in this series. If you want to be a terrible manager, ignore your people. But if the only thing you do is engage your people in negative feedback or constructive feedback, if that's all you do is that you are observing and finding ways people can do things better, if you are observing and finding ways that people aren't doing things correctly today and communicating to them ways they need to adapt their behavior or do things differently, if that is all you do is engage in negative constructive conversations, then that is 40 times more effective than ignoring your people. So that actually allows you to be an order of magnitude more effective at getting the outcome that you want to get as a leader on your team. But if you really want to unlock effectiveness, then you want to add to that positive attention. Because if you give positive attention, if you are intentional to observe the things that people are doing right, if you are intentional to observe the activities that people do that bring them to life, that are strengths for them, and you articulate and communicate those things to them in a specific way, if you add that to your conversation, that is going to be 30 times more effective than the negative feedback and 1,200 more times more effective than ignoring your people. So if you want to be 1,200 times more effective at the conversations you engage in with the people on your team and ultimately deliver the business results you want to deliver, then you want to engage in both. And feedback is about both of those. Feedback is about the constructive critique that we need to be sharing with the people on our team to help them improve and help us increase the efficiency and effectiveness of our delivery of business results. But also it's the positive. It is positive attention, positive validation. Feedback is both. And a lot of times when we talk about feedback and we think about feedback, we think about the constructive component of it. But if we add to that the positive attention and we're intentional to do both of those, it actually allows us to go further faster, to be much more effective in giving feedback, and ultimately make us more effective at developing our team and delivering business results. So we want to be engaged in delivering both. And we're going to unpack in our next session, what does that look like? What does effective feedback look like whenever there is something that we need to critique from a constructive perspective, when there are opportunities for us to give positive attention to people on our team? What does that look like? And what is a frame through which we can view giving feedback? But feedback contains both. And for us to be effective in engaging in feedback conversations, we need to be intentional to give constructive critique and to also give positive attention. And in doing so, it allows us to go further faster and be more effective at developing our team and delivering our business results.